I'm Devin Kogan from Entertainment Weekly, and I am here at EW Studio at Comic-Con with the cast of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse. Shameik Moore and Jake Johnson. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I am so excited to talk to you guys about this movie. Everything we've seen so far has looked so cool and so different. And this is obviously the first movie starring Miles Morales, who is such a beloved character. Shameik, you voice Miles. So he's such a fan favorite, but for people who maybe aren't familiar with who Miles is, how would you kind of introduce him?
I would introduce Miles as the Brooklyn Spider-Man. Yeah. And I would say that, there's a camaraderie between Peter and Miles in this movie that's a little different. But he finds himself and he's learning, how to be Spider-Man. And every Spider-Man has to learn how to be Spider-Man, but this one he's lucky. He has Peter, but it's a little different than we expected. And Miles, he's a special kid. With great power comes great responsibility. Means something a little different with Miles. It's the same phrase, but this is really forced upon him.
Yeah, it's got a new spin on Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you voice Peter Parker, who so many people know is the original Spider-Man. But this Peter's a little bit different. How does he compare to maybe the Peter Parker that we've seen like in past Spider-Man movies?
I think Peter's a little bit older. I think his back hurts a little bit more. I don't think he's positive he still wants to be Spider-Man. And then he meets a young guy who's got a new spin on Spider-Man and might need his help, but he's not a teacher. Or not naturally a teacher, because who wants to teach when you might be able to still do? Right? Right?
So he's maybe not ready for someone like the new young up-and-comer to come in and sort of...
Yeah, and also he's just not sure he wants to do any of this. He doesn't know if he wants to be Peter Parker, be Spider-Man, or teach someone how to do all these tricks. It's kind of, you got it or you don't got it.
Yeah.
So, what's the relationship like between the two of them? Because we've seen a little bit in the trailer where Peter's sort of the mentor, but kind of reluctantly.
Yeah. Well, without giving the movie away, I would say,
That's the dance on it.
Yeah. He generally just said it. That's his perspective. And with Miles, he doesn't really want to, he's like, I just want to go to school I like to go to. All of this is, can you teach me? And you know what I'm saying? So it's a different, it's a different setup, but I think that's what's going to make it interesting. There's a lot of Spider-Man movies already, so this one is, it has that new touch to it. And Miles has different powers as well, so it's, finding that out in the movie.
That's right. I also think with Peter and Miles, they both see something special in the other that they don't necessarily have.
Right.
So that there's something about each of them that they are both Spider-Man, but there is a uniqueness to Peter and there's a uniqueness to Miles that the other one likes. And so that they don't necessarily want to need each other, but then in the end they kind of need each other.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So Peter and Miles aren't the only Spider people in this movie. We know there are a couple others, specifically Haley Steinfeld as Spider-Gwen. What can you tell me about her?
Not very much. Can you say? We did this in an animated when I was in a booth. I was with him a couple times.
Yes, this is true. I haven't gotten to meet her yet either, so,
I don't know.
But did you guys get to record together?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
What was that like, being in the booth together?
I really liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, it's different than reading by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You get to go off of each other, the energy, the back and forth.
Yeah, and when, Shameik's not there, you've got, Rodney Rothman reading Miles. And Rodney, who's one of our directors and a writer, is great. But it's a different thing when the guy who's playing him is doing it, and you can look at each other and you can make eye contact. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those movies where you do the script, but you're allowed to improvise, and they throw things out. Where they're doing this movie, it's not necessarily traditional. We're doing tons of takes.
Yeah.
And so you're allowed to bring stuff to these characters and interact in moments, and so it's fun to act.
Yeah, I don't know how much you guys can speak to this, but one of the things that is so many people are so excited about for this movie is the way it looks. It just it kind of looks like nothing we've seen before. It has this awesome, comic book energy to it. I don't know how much you can speak to it, but tell me a little bit about kind of the visual style of this movie.
It looks like a comic book to me, like an actual comic book brought to life. And we see what you guys get to see a little bit before you guys. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen the movie.
Either.
You know, so
Only a little bit before you guys.
yeah, only a little bit before you guys see it. But the stills and what they're working on, like these clips are a whole different level. Like I haven't seen anything like it myself. I mean, but that's everybody. The whole world probably hasn't seen anything like it. So, you know, congratulations to us and you guys for getting to watch this movie
Together. Because we're probably going to see it when you guys see it.
All at the same time. So you mentioned that they kind of have sort of different powers, but one of the things that is so key to Spider-Man is the Spidey sense. So if you guys had a Spidey sense that would allow you to sort of detect something, what would you want it to be?
Ooh,
That's a big question.
If I could detect anything. Well, as Spider-Man, let's say danger, but I feel like that's normal, okay? But what about detecting? You ever walk into a room and you just wish that you knew if your crush likes you too? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I detecting something? You know what I'm saying?
Our answers are going to show our age. Mine's intention. I was like, somebody will do something that seems one way, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, but what was the intention? Yeah, I wish I had a spider sense. Like somebody does a big move, you know, political, what have you. And I'm like, all right, we can all debate what it is, but I wish I could just say, boom, that's the intention. That's actually what they're doing.
Ooh.
That's a good answer. Those are both good answers.
Both good answers. They're different answers.
You guys are being kind. That's okay. That was a good one.
So, I mean, Miles is such a fan favorite character, and he, you know, means a lot. And this is his first, you know, major film, and he's someone who is, he's Afro-Latino. He's from Brooklyn. You know, what does it mean to you guys to have, you know, a Spider-Man who is Black and Latino, and have Miles' story, you know, on the big screen and be the hero of this story?
For me, that's a big deal. I grew up and I knew about Miles Morales from yay high, you know, and a handful of other, you know, Black superheroes. But the Black Spider-Man is a big deal for me to come home, or for anybody that knows me or whatever. Shameik, that's his voice. Like when they see this movie, because, you know, I've always watched like cartoons. I love superhero cartoons, right? But this movie has that special quality that we've never seen before that you brought up. And when people see it in the theater and it's my voice playing Miles Morales, yeah, that's historic. That's how I feel. It's iconic. So I feel very lucky and blessed. I feel blessed more than anything. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's so exciting. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I'm so excited to see the final movie, which
Us
we'll
too.
all be seeing it at the same time.
Us too. Yes, we will.